Hi y'all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, I'm doing a thing. We're doing a thing. And I sat down to film this video and I opened everything up and I'm just like, holy moly, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. We're ranking my highlighters, guys. All of them. All of my single highlighters. And you really just don't realize how much makeup you own until you open it all up and lay it out in front of you. So I own a lot of highlighters. Let's get into it. Part of me wishes this was an overhead video just so you guys could see. I might insert a video that I posted on Instagram of me panning across this desk because there are a lot of highlighters in front of me, people. And I haven't ranked anything yet. I'm just letting you know. We're going in cold for this video because I don't know. I know what my ultimate all-time fave is, and we'll talk about that. I'll save that for last, save the best for last. But I want to talk through these things with you guys. I want to sort of come to an agreement with you about these highlighters. One thing that I have discovered about myself in this little experiment, this little exercise, is that I have a problem. I have an obsession with Pinky Peachy highlighters. Pinky Peachy highlighters abound in this collection, like to the point where I laid them all out and I was like, wow, Amira. I swatched them on my hand and I'm like, wow, Amira, these are all the same. I mean, they're not, they're similar. They're not the same, they're similar. But some of them could be dupes. I'm not gonna lie, some of them could be dupes, y'all. So let's start with the Pinky Peachy ones and I'm gonna show them to you. We're gonna talk about them. And maybe at the end of this video, I'll be able to rank them. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I figure I would just show them all and then you guys can help me, okay? So let's get into it. So first up, let's talk about my Dose of Colors. I have two Dose of Colors highlighters. The first one is Melonade. And yes, she is a Pinky Peachy highlighter. She pretty though. She real pretty though. I don't know if you guys, let me turn this down so you can see it a little bit, but can you see the pinky peachiness of that? Maybe not on my white palm of my hand. I have so many highlighters on my hand right now already. I've been swatching already because I was just like, could this possibly be true? Could I be this obsessed with one type of highlighter? Yes. So this is Melonade. This is what it looks like in the pan. It's very, like, when you look at it, it looks very reddish pink, but it's so soft on the skin and I feel like it will look beautiful on deeper skin. I've seen it in the like the pictures on the website, on their website, and it looks amazing on deep skin. And then next up I have Milk and Honey. And this one is probably too light for me, but I like it, so I keep it because it's pretty. And that is Milk and Honey. As you can see, it's very bright. It's very bright, very yellow, like white gold. It's probably too light for me. I've worn it though, and it looks fine, especially once you blend it out. It looks fine, but it's definitely like a blindingly light highlighter. Like you kind of want to go, you have to want to do that to wear this. Next up, let's talk about my two Beccas. So these are these the newest highlighters to me? No, but they were the last two I bought before I bought my Pat McGrath one, so I'll show them to you. These are the two that I have. I have the shade Lilac Geode and the shade Own Your Light, and I purchased these when Becca and Nasa were going out of business. Because these were on Ulta, and I was like, I had at that point had never owned a Becca highlighter, and I was like, well, now or never. So I got these two. And this one is a Pinky Peachy. And this one is kind of Pinky Peachy. But they're beautiful. I mean, like, seriously though. I'm going to show, oh gosh. How am I going to do this? I'm already so highlighted up. So this is Lilac Geode, and it's very pink, and then this is On Your Light, which is definitely got more gold to it. It's interesting because in the pan, On Your Light looks very pink, but it actually is quite golden, and then Lilac Geode is very, it's a pinky gold, you know, pinky peachy gold. I like the Becca formula. It's kind of sad that they went out of business, because I'm like, oh, I mean, the thing is that I like the formula, but I wasn't like blown away by it, you know what I mean? And maybe that's just because, and I think that was sort of the issue with Becca in general, is that for a while they were the only ones doing certain things and people were wowed by it, and then a bunch of other brands started doing things and just as good or better, and they kind of got lost in the shuffle. So yeah, I would say these are good highlighters. I wouldn't say they're like, oh my god, they're good highlighters, and I've worn these quite a bit and I like them a lot, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, these are the most amazing highlighters I've ever tried in my life, you know? Next up are my 2 MACs. I forgot about these when I talked about MAC and brands that don't excite me. This and Smashbox, this to me is a prime example of what I mean about brands being like not exciting or forgettable, because I forgot I owned these guys. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean I don't use these. I just forgot they were back. Don't laugh at me. But also, kind of funny, right? So these are the 2 that I own. This one is Snow Flushed, and this is the one that was originally, I think, Merrily, and then they made it into a highlighter, and I got the highlighter. This is from their holiday collection like some years ago. I still own this. It's a shit ton of product. I'm never gonna pan this. So that's this one that's kind of like super glittery and a bit chunkier. Very, very, you see that? Like, it looks gold, but it's actually pinky peachy. And then I have Oh Darling, which is very gold. And that is this one here. And that is just like a gold highlighter. These are good. My only issue with this one is that I wish it wasn't as chunky, glittery. I wish that it applied smoother to the skin. And that's my one gripe with this, is that I love the tone. I just wish it was more finely milled, but at the same time I have shades that are like that, so I guess this kind of gives something, brings something a little bit different to the table, perhaps. Next up, I have my 2 ColourPop. First is the Everybody's Got a Weakness Super Shock highlighter in Hades. This is when they did the villains, Disney villains, and I have the Hades one that I love this one, and this one is, I hate trying to pick these up with my finger. I feel like I never get enough product. But it's a pinky peachy gold, guys. It's a pinky peachy gold. I've had this a while. It might be time to like retire it, but I can't bring myself to. It's so pretty. And then I have another Super Shock cheek, pearlized cheek, they say, in Showtime. And this is another one that's kind of like pink. Can you see how pink that is? It's pink. I have a problem, guys. I told you. I was like, I didn't realize I had a problem. I was always like, oh, I love pinky peachy highlighters. I do. I just didn't realize how much I love pinky peachy highlighters. My God. Next up is my Milani Hypnotic Lights and Flashing Light. This one, another thing that I love is a shifty, I love a good shifty highlighter. So that looks really peachy, like pretty golden, but in the pan, I don't know if you can see, it's got like this ribbon of like pink, gold, and peach in it that I love. This is one of my faves. It's got a shift to it. I love a shift. I love a good shift. Next up, I'm going to talk about the 2 Ofra highlighters that I have. I don't purchase or support Ofra anymore, but I do own 2 of their products. Well, I own more than that, but I don't really talk about them on my channel, but these are in my, I'm talking about my collection, and they are in my collection, so I'm going to show them to you briefly. It's a shame. I do like their products. This is Bali, which is a highlighter that I used a ton. I feel like I can't get the light to really show you guys how gorgeous. There we go. But I haven't used it in ages, but this was like my first like highlighter, one of my first highlighters, and you see that shift. It's so beautiful. And then the other one I have is Cloud 9, and I believe this was one of the collabs they did with Nikki Tutorials. And this is a shifty one. This one is, it shifts from like pinky white. But yeah, those are the two Ofra highlighters that I have. I haven't used these in ages. Bali, again, was a fave of mine, but I haven't, again, like I said, I haven't used them in ages. I feel like I want to use at least Bali Pan It. But yeah, kind of want to get use out of them because they're expensive, you know. Ofra highlighters are like 30 something a pop, so I definitely want to get some use out of them. Next up is a highlighter that I've been using a ton since I got it, and I've talked about it on the channel, and this is the About Face Beauty Light Lock Powder and Light Spun. Why isn't this closing? What's wrong with you? Oh, there we go. And it's looks like this. I dug my nail into it a while ago, so it's got a nice little dent. And this is what it looks like on my finger. And this one is more of a traditional golden highlight, but I love it all the same because on the skin it just looks so pretty. So yeah, it's just a traditional gold, but it's a gold that I like, you know. It's a gold that I can get down with. Talk about the one, the only Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy. I'm gonna say something. It's gonna be controversial. Some of you may be mad at me. I'm wiping my hand off. This highlighter is overrated. I said it. I'll say it again. This highlighter is overrated. It's not bad. It's pretty. But this was so hyped up, and I bought it, buying into the hype, and when I got it, I was like, it's a gold highlight? It's a gold highlight, guys. It's pretty. I haven't used this in ages. I got it and I was just so underwhelmed, and I felt like I had things in my collection that I liked more. It's pretty. It's a gold highlighter. Another overrated. That product is overrated, but this entire brand is overrated, and we've talked about this on my channel many a time. So let's talk about my Tom Ford Sheer highlighting duo, shall we? So let's open it up. It's pretty packaging. That packaging pretty, and it came with a little pouch. Very nice, very nice. This is the little duo here. So you've got the little gold, and you've got this shade here. And let me just show you what I mean when I talk about this bottom shade not being an actual highlighter. I don't even know if it's picking up on camera, but this on me reads like, you see that? Look how dull that is. Do you see this? Where's the highlight, guys? This is an eyeshadow. Who's highlighting with this? Look at it. Look at it. Look. What's this? This is something I would apply on my eye. This looks like one of his eyeshadows. Am I wrong or am I wrong? I'm not. Come on. Who's highlighting with that? On anyone, even someone lighter than me, that is not a highlighter. That is an eyeshadow. Look at that. Look at the amount of pigment to that. That's this one here. Let's go to the gold. Gold I don't dislike at all. I think it's a very nice gold. That's the gold. So these are the two products. The two highlighters in that. Exactly. I don't think I need to say anymore. Let's talk about a not overrated brand. Let's talk about Pat McGrath. Let's talk about my three. I'm gonna show you both, and I've shown these before in my ranking of all of my Pat McGrath products. So you guys have seen, if you've seen that video, and if you haven't, you should watch it. It's great. I rank every single Pat McGrath product I own, and I own quite a few. Yeah, I talked about these, and I'm gonna show you the ones that I have again. So I have this one here, which is the Divine Rose Skin Fetish Ultra Glow Highlighter, and it is a baked formula. And it looks like this. And it's a pinky peachy highlighter. Shocker. It's a pinky peachy highlighter. And then I have her Divine Glow highlighter in Venus Nectar, and this is more of a traditional like pressed powder formula. It looks like these. This is so finely milled, guys. It's so smooth to the touch. It's kind of ridiculous how smooth to the touch that is. Oh, so pretty. So those are my two like powder Pat McGrath highlighters that I love. I love both of these, especially the baked formula. Oh, so stunning. And then I have this one. I'm not as huge a fan of this one, and it is the highlighter blush balm duo, and this is in the shade Golden, and I will show you what I mean. It's all right. And I really just went in like this. This is not how I'd apply this to my face though. But you see, and it's a little too light, and the other shade was a little too dark for me, and I just feel like if we're gonna do this, maybe we needed another shade. It's not bad though. Maybe I should apply it like that, but I feel like doing that, you would lift up any product underneath. You know what I mean? But I just feel like for a gold highlighter, I have better gold highlighters, you know? All right, let's talk about some one-offs, you know, brands that I only have like one of from each. So first up is Colored Rain, and I have these are the Focal Point Glow Lighters, and I have the shade Your Treat. It looks like this. It is very bronzy. I would say, where did I do with the About Face? Let's compare the two. The About Face is actually lighter. Trying not to blind you guys while I hold these open. Okay, so the About Face Beauty one is a little bit lighter. Your Treat is definitely more golden. And you would think both of these would be maybe a little too dark for me, but I don't know, guys. I like them both, and this one works really well for me. It's really pretty. Look at that. It just looks, you know how I like to use this? With a little bit of bronzer and then applying this over the bronzer, because it just gives my skin, you see how it just gives my skin that like glow, healthy glow? Look at that. Okay, Color Rain. This was when Color Rain was still popping when I got this. I mean, they've released some stuff recently, but I'm underwhelmed still. But this highlighter, nice. Another highlighter that I have that's one-off is the Infinity Highlighter from LH Cosmetics, and this is considered a multi-use shadow for face and eyes. It's a highlighter. This one, I have some hard pan on this. This one is one of those highlighters that I don't love, but I was reaching for it so much because it's one of those products that just gives the skin like a really basic glow. You see that? Like, once I blended it in, it's just glow, right? This is what it looks like in the pan. It's very light. But the reason why it works is once you blend it in, it just gives like a very generic glow. So when I want glow, but I don't really want any color per se, this is what I reach for. And you see what I mean? How it just gives glow. So this one is deceptively actually quite useful. It's boring. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's nothing exciting about it, but it just comes in handy when you just want basic glow. And hence why I've reached for it for so long, and I won't be decluttering it, because even though it's not as exciting as the rest of these, it serves a very useful purpose. Then we have my Give Me Glow Luminous Highlighter in the shade Halo. This one, do not, if you are interested in this or you own this, and you do not go ham with this. This is, you talking about glow. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. It's not playing games with you people. Go lightly with this. Dip in lightly. Blend softly. Do you understand why I'm saying, look at my hand. Look at my hand. But it's stunning, right? Exactly. I mean, this is a lot of product too. I would probably never pan this. because I use so little, because such a little goes such a long way. But it's such a beautiful highlighter. It's such a beautiful highlighter. And this was one of those products that you had to really be quick to get, because this was always selling out. Always. I don't know if it still sells out like that, but I just got lucky because every time I would go to buy it or be like, she'd restock and I'd be like, oh, it'd be gone. And you see why, because it's a stunner. Let's talk about my two Kaleidos highlighters. So I have Comet, what do I have? No, I have Solar Sailor. I used to have Comet Catcher, but I decluttered it. And this is like, okay, I just showed you Halo, right? And if you saw Halo and you're like, ooh, that's pretty, but I'm scared, maybe Solar Sailor is the one for you. Comes in this cute little package. It looks like this. Looks very white, right? But it kind of has that same vibe, but you see, and it's still glowy, but you see it's not quite as intense as Halo. Now, when I purchased these, I purchased them at separate times and I didn't realize how close they were to each other, but I can't bring myself to declutter either of them. But do you see what I mean? How it gives you that glow, the same, I mean, these are basically dupes for each other, but one is just more intense than the other. So if you really like the idea of that kind of like shifty, goldy, almost green tone, but the Halo highlighter is from Give Me Glow is just too intense for you, maybe try Solar Sailor from Kaleidos. It's an option. Next up is, this is my favorite highlighter, guys. Now, I don't use this highlighter very often, but it is my favorite highlighter. Why is it my favorite highlighter? Because I just think it's so beautiful. It's so shifty. It's so gobsmacking that even though it's not one that I reach for all the time, it is the one that I love the most. It is the one that when I open up my pretties, I go, you the prettiest girl. You're the prettiest girl. And that is Prophecy. Now, on camera, this is reading very kind of muted in gold. It is not. It is peachy in gold. It is pink in gold. It is orange. It is every color of all of my favorite highlighters together in one. And when I put it on and I move my head, I get all of the things at once. I've also used this as an eyeshadow and I've gotten so many compliments. This is my favorite highlighter because, again, it encompasses Halo and like my Divine Rose and like my Milani Flashing Lights, and it's kind of got all of those things that I love about those highlighters in one highlighter. And it's very intense, it's very shifty, which is why I say I don't use this that often as far as like everyday type of vibes, because it is so intense. But it's my favorite because she's the most special. So if I were to do a ranking, she would be number one. Last but not least are my two Rituel de Fille highlighters. I have the shade Chimera and the shade Phosphine. I would put Chimera at the top of my list as well because it's so unique. Chimera is a green highlighter, and if you've seen the promo photos of Rituel de Fille with this highlighter, and they had it on 3 skin tones in sunlight, like, guys, this highlighter, and these are cream highlighters, but I don't even know if the light's picking it up, but she's green, yo. She green, but she green. She green. She looks like a sophisticated, sexy green, not like a, you know, not like a cheap, tacky green. Green is my favorite color, by the way, so don't talk shit about green in my comments, okay? Don't do it. But it's a cream. It's almost it's more balmy than anything else. It smells of lavender. I love this highlighter. It's in my tops as far as my favorites. And again, why? I don't wear it very often, but it's unique, it's special, and that's why it's in my faves. Next up is Phosphine. I don't know how I feel about this one. I've worn it maybe twice. I don't know. I don't think it's the shade for me. Do you see what I mean? I think it's very pink. It's kind of light. I don't think it does much for my skin tone, and I think that's the issue with it. When I put it on, I don't feel that great in it. So I'm probably going to declutter this, which makes me sad, but I think it's a beautiful tone. I've seen it on other people and it looks amazing, but I just don't think it looks good on me. So yeah. All right, guys, so those were all of my highlighters. I talked it through. I did show you at the end what my two like faves were, but as you can see, I have a hard time ranking the rest of these because a lot of them are very similar in tone, if not texture, or you know, similar in color if not texture, and I love them all. They're all my babies. I'm probably gonna add some into my top 3 in every category, and I have to really sit down and go through that, but these are all of them. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you own any of these? Are you thinking of picking up one of these now that you've seen them? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.